Well, I did get in a car in this weather. I think we all did.
Okay, all right, that's pretty close.
That's close. Every day's pretty exciting.
Every day's pretty exciting.
Every day's, because every day's a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially mission.
Every day, I share another story from the Golden Age and the moments that shaped an unforgettable era. If you'd like to keep these memories alive with me, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot. Thank you for being here. Now let's begin. There are friendships in Hollywood that seem unshakable, until one decision flips everything upside down. Russell Crowe knows that pain all too well, the kind that comes when trust breaks between two people who once called each other friends. His story with Tom Cruise isn't just about fame, it's a tale of admiration, betrayal, and choices that echo through the years. It all began in the early 90s, long before either man imagined their paths would collide in such a messy way. They met in 1992 at a backyard barbecue in Sydney, hosted by Naomi Watts, a casual meetup that would later carry heavy meaning. Nicole Kidman, who was married to Cruise at the time, played matchmaker that day, introducing her husband to Crowe. That small introduction built a bridge between Australia's rising star and Hollywood's golden boy. Crowe, already familiar with Kidman through the local film scene, was curious about Cruise, the blockbuster king known for Top Gun and Mission Impossible. What surprised him most was Cruise's genuine interest. Crowe once shared that Cruise asked detailed questions about his movies and process, showing a rare humility for someone at the top of the Hollywood food chain. That spark of respect quickly grew into a friendly connection, though they wouldn't work together for years. By the late 90s, both men had become household names. Cruise was dominating the box office, while Crowe's intense performances in Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind were earning him critical glory. They admired each other's talent from afar, yet personal connections would soon drag both of them into emotional chaos. Behind the smiles and small talk, their friendship was slowly being tested. Cruise's marriage to Kidman had always fascinated the media. Every photo, every rumor, every fight became tabloid gold. Through it all, Crowe stayed close to Kidman as a supportive friend, often seen at gatherings or checking in during her tough moments. That closeness, innocent at first, began to weigh on Cruise's trust. What started as mutual respect between two powerful actors started to shift into quiet tension. When Cruise and Kidman's marriage hit rough waters, Hollywood felt the tremors. By 2001, their shocking split sent shockwaves through the industry. Crowe suddenly found himself in the middle of something no one wants, choosing sides between two people he deeply cared about. His loyalty to Kidman was undeniable. He had seen her pain up close and couldn't ignore it. Offering her comfort and advice, Crowe stood by her while the media tore into every detail of the divorce. But that loyalty came with a price. Crowe's continued support for Kidman didn't sit well with Cruise, who felt betrayed during a time when his own world was collapsing. The tension between them quietly grew, eventually bleeding into their professional lives. And by the time they reunited for The Mummy years later, the old friendship was just a shadow of what it used to be. For Crowe, the 2001 fallout wasn't gossip. It was personal. Watching a friend's marriage crumble while trying to stay neutral was nearly impossible. In private, he wrestled with guilt and confusion, torn between compassion for Kidman and the respect he once had for Cruise. That emotional conflict marked the beginning of an unspoken feud that would follow them both through Hollywood's glimmering lights and hidden grudges. The divorce exploded across the media. Every photo, every rumor, every whispered detail was magnified until it became impossible to escape. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were dissected under the harshest spotlight, and Russell Crowe's protective loyalty toward Kidman didn't go unnoticed. That loyalty drew a clear line in the sand, and it quietly froze the friendship he once shared with Cruise. Insiders close to both actors revealed that Crowe felt he couldn't stay close to Cruise without betraying Kidman's trust. And so, the silent rift between them deepened for years. Meanwhile, Cruise moved forward, trying to rebuild his life under constant public pressure. His relationship with Penelope Cruz in 2001 turned headlines wild, and his later marriage to Katie Holmes in 2006 only turned up the heat. Every move he made, every smile, every quote was analyzed by fans and critics alike. Behind the glossy magazine covers, however, his choices kept fueling tension with Crowe, who still struggled to balance friendship, ethics, and loyalty. That personal tug-of-war made it nearly impossible for the two to ever reconnect. For Crowe, the situation wasn't just emotional, it was philosophical. He had built his entire reputation around loyalty and honor, so watching someone he once respected make decisions he couldn't stand behind hit him hard. What used to be a friendship based on curiosity and mutual respect slowly faded into a long, complicated silence. In Crowe's eyes, Cruise wasn't just the movie star anymore. He was the man behind the headlines, and that man looked different through the lens of disappointment. By the time The Mummy entered development, the tension between them had been simmering for 16 long years. Imagine that, over a decade and a half of unspoken feelings building up, only to collide on a single movie set. Two of the world's biggest stars, forced to share the same screen, both carrying emotional baggage heavier than the props around them. That set wasn't just about making a monster movie. It was about surviving the ghosts of old Hollywood friendships gone sour. When The Mummy finally brought them together in 2017, it felt like fate was playing a cruel joke. After years of dancing around the idea, Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise were finally face to face, working side by side. Crowe had often mentioned he wanted to wait for the right project to collaborate with Cruise. And this was supposed to be it. Cruise took on the role of Nick Morton, while Crowe embodied Dr. Jekyll and his dark alter ego, Hyde. On paper, it looked like the perfect Hollywood powerhouse combo. But behind the cameras, the air was thick with history. The production was grueling. Both men insisted on doing their own stunts, fighting, falling, and crashing through scenes like seasoned warriors. Crowe later joked that those fight scenes nearly broke them both, laughing about the endless hours spent perfecting every punch and fall. Yet under that laughter was tension, a quiet storm that everyone on set could feel. Cruise's legendary perfectionism was in full force. He was deeply involved in every decision, from stunts to script rewrites to post-production edits. His control over creative direction was unmatched, and while Crowe respected that dedication, it added another layer of strain. Between the demanding physical work and their complicated history, the shoot turned into a balancing act of professionalism and personal restraint. Co-stars like Sophia Boutella, Annabelle Wallis, and Jake Johnson felt that energy too. Johnson, who was nervous about the stunt work at first, found comfort in Cruise's intense coaching. But even he admitted that the atmosphere was heavy. Everyone could sense that something unspoken hung in the air, an emotional weight that shaped every scene. For Crowe, every interaction with Cruise came with quiet reflection. His long-standing friendship with Kidman still colored his perception, whether he wanted it to or not. On set and off, both men kept things polite. Professional smiles, respectful banter, a few jokes for the cameras. But beneath it all, the tension never left. Even during the Sydney premiere, their body language said it all. There was laughter, there was respect, but there was also that lingering discomfort. A reminder that not every Hollywood friendship survives the spotlight. Despite all the personal history and hidden tension, both actors showed up ready to give everything they had. Tom Cruise couldn't hide his excitement about finally working with Russell Crowe. He even admitted it felt surreal after knowing each other for so long. Crowe returned the sentiment, but with a layer of caution. Playing Dr. Jekyll was more than just another role for him. It was a challenge wrapped in emotion. Working beside someone whose past choices still haunted him forced Crowe to juggle professionalism with personal restraint. Every scene was a mix of discipline, skill, and quiet control, the kind of balance only Hollywood veterans could pull off. Their collaboration on The Mummy became a powerful symbol of how friendship and betrayal can coexist under the bright lights of fame. When the film hit theaters in June 2017, Universal had sky-high hopes. It was supposed to be the big kickoff for their dark universe, a connected world of monsters starring Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe leading the charge. The movie blended action, horror, and supernatural chaos, but what fans got wasn't exactly what they were promised. Critics tore the film apart, giving it a brutal 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ouch! Audience reactions weren't much better, landing around 35%. Many complained that the story felt rushed and unfocused, especially the sudden arrival of Crowe's Dr. Jekyll and his monstrous alter ego, Hyde. Some reviewers even said the movie cared more about setting up future sequels than telling a complete story. Still, despite the harsh words, the film managed to pull in a whopping $409 million worldwide against a $125 million budget. That's proof that Tom Cruise's name alone could still fill theaters no matter what the critics said. But the numbers told a different story. The so-called dark universe didn't rise the way Universal dreamed it would. Plans for spin-offs and sequels were quietly shelved as the studio scrambled to rethink its strategy. Yet, even with all that chaos, The Mummy had one thing going for it. People couldn't stop talking about the stunts. Fans were amazed to learn that Crowe and Crowe did their own intense fight scenes, throwing real punches and taking real hits. Jake Johnson, one of their co-stars, later admitted he was terrified to do his own stunts until Crowe personally trained him for months. That dedication left an impression on everyone. Even Crowe had to respect the work ethic no matter what old emotions lingered between them. For Crowe, embodying Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde wasn't just physical. It mirrored the emotional split he felt working alongside Crowe. The pressure, the adrenaline, and the buried tension all mixed into something electric on screen. And though critics panned the film, fans couldn't get enough of the duo's chemistry once it hit streaming platforms years later. Here's the twist. The Mummy found new life long after Hollywood had moved on. Nearly 8 years after its release, the movie suddenly exploded in popularity across Netflix and Prime Video, especially in countries like Thailand, Singapore, and the Dominican Republic. Social media lit up with fresh debates. Viewers praised Cruise's intensity and Crowe's dark charisma, even as they rolled their eyes at the messy plot. Some said the fight scenes were legendary, while others called Crowe's Jekyll-Hyde transformation the most underrated part of the film. Analysts couldn't ignore it. Somehow, this so-called flop had risen from the grave like its own mummy. The film's streaming success proved that audiences didn't care about critics when star power and action chemistry hit the right note. It sparked wild fan theories too. What if Crowe's Jekyll got his own spin-off? What if Crowe returned for a sequel that never was? People imagined a new wave of monster movies that might have saved Universal's entire Dark Universe dream. In the end, this unexpected comeback showed the strange magic of Hollywood. How a movie born from tension and betrayal could still find redemption years later. It reminded everyone that fame, loyalty, and rivalry might clash behind the scenes, but when the cameras roll, the power of performance always wins. After years of silence, Russell Crowe finally broke it, and what he revealed about his strained relationship with Tom Cruise had Hollywood buzzing. For the first time, Crowe opened up about the personal loyalty and moral choices that shaped their complicated friendship. He didn't hold back, making it clear that his unshakable loyalty to Nicole Kidman, a friend he stood by for over 3 decades, made it impossible to stay close to Cruise after that shocking 2001 divorce. Crowe described the emotional weight of watching Kidman suffer through that public heartbreak. He said it wasn't about gossip or headlines, it was about principles. According to people close to both actors, Crowe never forgave Cruise for what he saw as a sudden and deeply personal betrayal. To him, it wasn't just a Hollywood breakup, it was a moment that crossed the line of loyalty. When asked about Scientology, a topic often linked to Cruise, Crowe set the record straight. He explained that while Cruise had sparked his curiosity years ago, his interest in the religion was purely neutral. He explored it briefly without judgment or pressure. Crowe emphasized that his decision to step back from Cruise had nothing to do with religion or professional jealousy. It was entirely about loyalty and ethics. That honesty struck a chord with fans who respected his refusal to play into the usual Hollywood drama. For Crowe, keeping his distance wasn't revenge. It was self-respect. He said pretending everything was fine while Kidman was still healing would have felt like betraying her trust. Siding with a friend during personal pain isn't a choice, it's instinct, Crowe once said. That mindset ended up shaping the way he approached every professional collaboration that came after. To him, friendship and integrity had to walk hand in hand, even in an industry that often sacrifices both for fame. When The Mummy finally reunited him with Cruise, both actors wore a mask of professionalism, but everyone could feel the tension just beneath the surface. Crowe later admitted that the fight scenes in the movie gave him an outlet, a way to channel all the old frustration and competitive energy into something productive. In a strange way, those punches and stunts became therapy, a silent release for years of unspoken emotion. Cruise, for his part, praised Crowe's discipline and dedication, calling him a powerhouse on set. Yet insiders noticed something else, a quiet distance between them. When it came to creative decisions or script talks, the warmth just wasn't there anymore. What once was easy banter had turned into careful, measured interaction. Crowe later reflected that this balancing act, staying professional while managing private emotions, was one of the most exhausting challenges of his career. Even years later, fans and Hollywood insiders still can't stop talking about the pair's complicated bond. Their friendship-turned-feud has become one of those behind-the-scenes stories that everyone knows about but no one fully understands. It reminds people that no matter how famous you are, emotions and ethics don't just disappear when the cameras stop rolling. Cruise has moved forward at full throttle, diving into massive projects like Top Gun, Maverick, Deeper, and Doug Liman's ambitious space film. His image as Hollywood's ultimate daredevil is stronger than ever, still performing his own stunts and pushing limits like it's second nature. Meanwhile, Crowe continues to earn respect, not only for his powerful performances, but for sticking to his code: loyalty, honesty, and ethics above all else. That moral compass has become part of his identity, both as an actor and as a man. Public perception of their fractured friendship remains deeply tied to that 2001 divorce. For many fans, Crowe's unwavering support for Kidman became a quiet act of defiance. Proof that in Hollywood, loyalty still matters. Insiders say Crowe's decision to distance himself wasn't about holding a grudge, but about protecting his values. It wasn't hate, it was principle. When audiences watch The Mummy today, they see more than just on-screen chemistry. They feel the tension underneath it. Behind every shared scene, there's a story layered with trust, hurt, and hard choices. Crowe's decision to speak publicly about it gave fans a rare look behind the curtain, showing that fame doesn't erase moral conflict. It magnifies it. The legacy of The Mummy is more complex than its box office numbers suggest. It didn't just bring together two A-list icons, it revealed the emotional cost of doing so. Beneath the explosions, the stunts, and the big-budget spectacle lies a human story about loyalty, pride, and pain. Crowe's reflection on it all feels like a reminder that no matter how high you climb, every choice leaves a mark. His story now stands as a Hollywood lesson, a case study in what happens when ethics and ambition collide. It proves that even in an industry built on illusion, real principles still exist. Crowe's decision to prioritize loyalty over friendship may have cost him an ally, but it earned him something far more lasting: respect. So here's the big question. What do you think? Was Russell Crowe right to put loyalty and ethics above friendship with Tom Cruise? Or should personal relationships be kept separate from moral choices in the spotlight of fame? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button if you felt something real, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.